just coming up to one of my little tabs, and I can feel that, and we're going to do some forward and back just to reinforce that tab. So when you're doing the turn, make sure your machine is set with your needle down. That way when you're turning your fabric at the needle, you're not losing your stitch at all. It's pinning it in place through the needle, but you can lift your foot and spin your fabric around. Moving down to that final clip, we've got our 4-inch opening, and we want to reinforce, so we're just going to stitch forward and back a couple of times just to reinforce. And we are done this part of the sewing. We are almost done our bag. All we have to do is make our straps and feed them through. And whenever we're doing something where we're turning it the right side back out through an opening, if you clip off the corner, it makes your corners neater. You don't want to clip through the seam that you've sewn, but there's my corner there, and you can see my stitching. So I am just going to clip around this corner, not right up to my thread line, but close to it. And what that does is it takes the bulk out when you turn. So we're going to do that at each of the 4 corners. We're going to find our opening. We're going to reach in with our hand, and we're going to pull everything to the outside edge. So I'm just going to reach back out. Here we go. Push it all right side out. And you can use your fingers, or you could use the end of a pencil, but we want to push those corners out as smooth as we can get them to the seam. And we've got our little tabs that we're going to be threading our fabric straps through. They're there. So that part there is the front side of your bag and the back side of your bag. And then this other part is our lining. In the middle here we have our casing. You can see that. That's where we're going to feed our cord through. And then we've got our lining. So we want to close this hole up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a sharp tug, and that is going to pull my seams together. And then we're just going to stitch along this bottom edge. So I'm going to do about a 1/4 of an inch seam here to close this up. And we're going to go forward and back. And I sew a little bit beyond where the opening is, just to make sure everything's reinforced. Do my forward and back. And the body of our bag is done. So we're going to give the casing a little tug, and we are going to stuff our lining inside the outside of our bag. And again, like we did with the other, we want to push our corners right in and get everything turned around. There is our fully lined knapsack bag. So what I'm going to do is show you how to make the fabric straps. If your fabric is directional like mine is, so I want all of my little animals pointing the same way. So we're going to take it, lay the one down on top of the other, right sides together, and sew that 1/2 inch seam. forward and back at the beginning and end. Okay, we're going to make our straps now. So we're going to take our 2" by 60" piece of fabric, and we'll do this for both of them. You want to press it, and then we're going to press it in half. I've pressed that in half all the way down the length. Now we're going to fold it in and fold it in to our mid seam there and press this all. So it's turned in and pressed, and then we'll fold it in half again. And I'm just going to use my clips, but you could use a pin, well, several pins. You just want to hold it in place until we get down to the end, and then we'll take it over to the sewing machine and stitch it. Okay, so we're back at the sewing machine. I have sewn 2 rows of stitching down along the strap just to hold it in place, back stitched it at the beginning and end of both. So we'll get this second strap done, and then I'll show you how to put it through the casing. In order to feed the strap through the casing, have a safety pin. We'll just attach that to the end of the strap, and we'll feed it through. So the straps will feed through from opposite ends on the casing, because you've got the casing on the front of the bag and the casing on the back of the bag. Let me find my safety pin here. So I'm just going to stick this on the end. And our casings are large enough that it should feed through nicely. So just put the safety pin in there. Push it in a little bit. Feed it through the one casing. Pop it through the casing on the other side, and then put the end through our little tab on the side of the bag. So there we've got it through the one casing. Keep it straight, and then we will stick it in the second casing. Get in there and feed through. I'm just about done with this one strap here. There we go. Just make sure that it's not twisted. So you want it just to lay flat there. Pull it through, and then we're going to take the one side of our strap and bring it down, put it through our tab here that we sewed onto the side. There we go. And we will bring the other end of the strap along. And we're just going to tie a knot and tie our knot, pull it snug. So that's the one side done. So the first one we fed through and we went from left to right and came down on our left side of our bag. So the other one, we're going to start on the opposite end because we want it to meet up with this tab. So we're going to start on the right side and feed it through the casing over top of the other strap. Handy having the casings a wee bit larger at the top, it just makes it easier. So if you had decided that you didn't want to make the straps, or for whatever reason you want to change it up and you want to use the leather bootlaces or a different colored cording that you get from one of the fabric stores, you would feed those through exactly the same way. So now we're going from right to left, and I'm just going to pop this in behind the other one that we had fed through the other side of the casing. But you would feed through shoelaces or cording the same way. Just pop a pin onto the end of it, feed it through, knot it down the side, and you're good to go. So we'll feed this strap through the tab on this side. I can get that to open up enough to get the tab in. There we go. And make our knot. And it's just a simple overhand knot that you're doing with the two pieces together. Pull it tight. And then just adjust our straps so that that knot is at the bottom of the tab. So when you pull on the other end of the cording, you lengthen and shorten it by the side. So they're pretty much even. Give it a tug, and there you go. We're all done our bag. And here's our second bag. So, quick little project to make a quick little knapsack, good for carrying water bottles or treats or towels or other treasures, dollies, books. Mom or a dad or an adult, if you want to go for a little hike and you want something lightweight, don't want a heavy bag, but want somewhere that you can keep your hands free, pop your cell phone in, your car keys in, and you're good to go. And if you're a pet parent, maybe your pet bags can pop in here while you take your pet for a walk. So multi-purpose bag, light, quick, easy, fun to do, and you can find other ideas for other sewing projects at Barrie Public Library. Go to our website and go to our digital resources. Click on that. Click on Learn in the menu that opens up, and it will bring up all the different sites that you can go to where you can learn a new skill. You click on Creative Bug. It'll open up a whole world of knitting and crafting and sewing projects for you, and they're all free with your Barrie Public Library card. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, and enjoy yourselves. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.